It's bench day. I say day, it is 9:30 at night. It's completely pitch dark outside. No better time to put my left shoulder into a coma. Had a really shit day today. But yeah, day's been fairly shite. Unfortunately now, you know, things happen. Nothing like a bit of gravity to give you a kick up the hole. And I can't actually wait to put a shit ton of weight on top of me. To the point where I'm just under so much pressure that I have to lift it. And there's nothing else on my mind. Pre-workout today, we have an old banana, which is a bit beyond its due date. There's a few bruises and stuff, and it's brown as the bejesus. You'd swear it got the shite bed out of it outside in Apache after a night out. And then we have a drop of honey as well, and I took salt for pre-workout. That looks very sus. Tastes good though. Got a banana to stop any cramps and all that. I've started taking bananas a bit more now recently. I used to not really care about the old fruit. I go through stages of loving it, and then stages of it being my worst enemy. But I'm getting back in my fruit era. Honey to get all the glycogen into my cells. Hopefully get a bit more of a pump, because we only have a bit of pre-workout today because it is very late at night and I don't really want to be staying up all night, so I only took 250 milligrams of caffeine. Give me a light kick for the workout. When it comes to warming up the upper body, you're just trying to engage them shoulders. Want to look like them fellas on the side of the road that sell tyres, you know, and they're all waving about the spot. That's basically what you're going for. Warm up those front delts, because you do use a lot of your front delt in your press movements, which is why I don't actually directly train front delts. Rather, I'll opt to use my energy training the overall chest. Or when I train my shoulders, it'll be my lateral delts, where I'll do an extra couple sets of lateral raises to compensate. This bench is a peculiar one, because if I were to show it to you see how there's a bit of an old bump and a lump here at the top, and people typically will put their head there, but I think that's a pile of shite. Instead I turn it around, because I think a flat bench allows you to adjust your position a bit better when you're benching. So I like to turn it around. It's like you're pushing against the bump, it basically like puts your back out of line, so as your back should be say 2-3 centimeters lower, it's actually that bit higher, and I think that just kind of puts you out of line with the benching, and I don't like it at all. Do you want SoundCloud today? I think I will. I think I'm going to go with sped up sounds again today. We're going to start off with Skyfall by Adele, sped up. Okay, there's a good line there, which is really the hardest thing to kind of go for on bench. Once you have that line that you know you want to hit every time, it's easy to replicate it. Whereas if you kind of mess up on your warm-up and you're kind of gone all topsy-turvy and stuff, it's going to be very hard to get that good line that you want. I feel confident to put 20s on it. I typically probably would do another set of just a bar. But I feel like I can go straight to 20. The pre-workout's hitting in, you know. Now, I always like to set up the exact same. Like I said, your warm-up is just to warm you up and make sure you're following that right line and stuff. So when I'm setting up for my warm-up sets, going into my top, I'll always do the exact same thing. You're going to measure yourself up against the bench. I like to use my fist in either corner. Push me crotch forward. I'm going to grab the bar and sit back into it. Now for lining up my hands, I use my middle finger to give a wrap, and then I come in from the outside and bring the whole arm in, or the hand in. Tense up the lats and then flare them, ass up, breath in, breath out, and you're ready. Another cue that a lot of people don't think about is your glutes tensing. So when you have your tense glutes, you kind of have more stability below at the lower body. Because, you know, if you're looking to push as much weight as possible, you're going to need to use your leg drive. So if you're pushing legs without like keeping everything tight and engaged, you're going to end up flaring up your legs and you're going to make a balls of your back. Whereas if your glutes are tensed, that means your core is sturdy and you'll be able to just focus more on just the upper body of getting that thing up and let your legs do what they do. I don't really know. I'm going up to 80 kilo because I don't know what my top set is yet. I'm thinking I kind of want to go for 130. If I get 130 for 2 again, I hit that last week, I'd be very happy. Look, I'm meant to be cutting about me. Nutrition's just been completely out the window. Yeah, my gym sessions have been good, but they've been very limited to what I have in this gym, which is barbells and dumbbells, which just isn't adequate for getting, like, you know, optimal results. And yeah, they're good, don't get me wrong. It does 90% of the work, but you're still missing out that extra bit to push you. See, progression is very easy in the early stage of the gym because every week you do typically have the ability to nearly go up another rep or that. Once you get to, I'm 2 years and a bit into the gym now, so look, I'm not Gandhi or anything, but I know the odd bit. And like, I know it's a lot more difficult for me to progress. And even mentally that does affect you because I know I do get stuck on a plateau a lot now. I plateau a lot in weights, especially I've started just going for a weight. I started not even looking at what the weight is like. I just, if it's a cable machine or whatever, stick it on some random weight and just do it. If I can't do it, drop it and do it that way. You know, I'm not actually keeping count of my reps anymore. And look, it's more fun way to train, but it is kind of stinking because on your top 3, where like you know the main thing is to kind of know what you're lifting on it, it's hard to progress for me now. So like I hit 140 back in February. Now I was near peak bulk. I would have been maybe 105 kilograms. I'm only like 92 now, so there's a big drop off from that. So I shouldn't go too hard on myself, but I think the mental plateau is nearly worse than the physical, because if I hit that 140 and then I just completely digressed back to 120, I know I had that in me and I can't hit that anymore, which is nearly more of a mental block, so I'm afraid to nearly push it again. I have done 130 for the first time last week in, I think, maybe 5 or 6 months. I wouldn't go above 125 because I thought I wasn't going to be able to hit 130 again. I don't know what it is. It's just some sort of mental block because I wasn't able to get above the plateau, and then I nearly felt like I had to digress. And you try different things. Like, I thought to myself for a while, I'll just come away from bench and do dumbbell bench, which doesn't make any sense because obviously to get better at one thing, you have to focus on that thing. But I just done it anyway. And then I realized, sure, it doesn't really make any sense. You nearly get bored of it, you know. If I'm not being able to push it, and as a natural lifter, that's what's going to happen. Unless I start bulking again, which I don't want to do, because even at the stage I'm at now, I don't feel confident enough in my body and my body fat percentage. So it's very hard as a natural lifter to progress yourself, not only physically, but mentally, to get over those type of things. Whereas if I was juicing, and I know obviously juice doesn't save everything, but it, you know, it does a lot of the fucking heavy pulling. So if I were to hop on, like, it would make that whole side of things easier. But then at the same time, you know, I don't think in my position at the moment it'd be worthwhile for me to hop on because there's nothing that I really need it for. Granted, it would make my mental nearly better when it comes to gym work, but I feel like the actual mental effects of having a shit ton of testosterone surging through your veins, but when you come off it then and your gains disappear, I already struggle with putting on extra body fat after being at a stage where I was lean and I was happy with myself. Because even when I was that lean and I was happy with myself, I wasn't really happy with myself. So the fact that I've put on weight since, and now I'm really negatively affected by that, I think if I hopped on and then for some reason had to cruise TRT or something and I lost them gains, it would really negatively affect me. So there's a lot of things that you have to nearly like think about before you're to hop on to something like that. Although the benefits are there, I think there's a lot of negatives that people just don't really think about until they're stuck because they've taken it and they didn't realise that they probably shouldn't do it. Saying that, I never stop anyone from doing it if someone's in a mental health space or whatever, or like in a healthy space mentally. I mean, yeah, if it's what you want to do, do it. But just at my level right now, I just don't feel like I'd be able to do it, you know? I can feel the salt cruising through, the bit of honey cruising through my veins as I speak. Now, I done 4 reps there. Obviously, it was easy, but it doesn't feel good, which isn't what you really want. Look, I'm still gonna definitely go up to 120, see how that feels. Feels like shit, I'll probably rock out maybe 4 reps. If it feels good, I'll hit 1, and then leave it off, put 130 on it, and try my best. You have no spotter in here, so it's also like 9:30, there's no one around, you know, it's an empty gym, it's an empty club gym. So if I were to drop it, it's a pain in the bollocks for me to take off. Don't really want to do that, you know. But I do want to progress, so I want to push myself. I really feel like I can. Look, they say a comparison is the thief of joy. You can nearly be your own worst enemy, because even if you're just comparing yourself to yesterday, like I said, when you get to a certain stage in your lifting, it is very hard to progress. And comparing yourself at all, even if it isn't to someone else, just comparing yourself to yourself. And I think it is the most off-putting thing. So you nearly have to just clear your mind and just think, it doesn't fucking matter, you know? I just need to do the best that I can. I think that's even entering the gym as someone who is brand new, you just need to know that you're better than yourself. And I think that's basically what 90% of it is, and that's why I am where I am today in the gym. Because now I know the last few months have been fairly rough when it comes to the gym. I haven't been going in with that mindset. I've been going in like, okay, I just have to do it and get it out of the way. And I think my content nearly reflects that. Like if you were to watch me TikTok, what my content is the thing that I'm interested in at that moment. And my interests change the whole time. Like for like one week straight, I'd be obsessed with a certain thing. Even you can see on my TikTok, like I was obsessed with buying with like a pair of jeans. I knew I needed a pair of jeans. So for like 2 weeks straight, I bought probably like 9 or 10 pairs of jeans. I only needed one, but I just done that because I get so invested in one thing and I give it my all. And I know this is a stupid analogy because I'm talking about buying jeans, but I get so invested in one thing and give it my all. And then once that's nearly like, you know, at a level where I'm content with, I'll never just forget about it. I've worn only one of them pairs of jeans that I bought in that month, you know? And I think with the gym, I'm the same. It's very ups and downs. So like I would love it for like 3-4 months straight. I would give it my all. I would push myself beyond my limit. Like 2-3 months, like I was eating bare minimum calories. I was eating 1,800 calories a day, going to the gym every day, not a care in the world. Now I couldn't even dream of it. I've tried tracking 3 times this week. I fail every single time. I'm so disciplined for a certain amount of time, and then it just completely goes off the rails. And it's the same with everything in my life, and it's a real pain in the bollocks. Because it's very hard to do anything and progress in anything if you only give it a short period of time. Like, it took me a full year before I was at all content with how I looked from starting the gym. It took an entire year. And even then, I still hated it, you know? It really does take years upon years, and I know I am only at the age right now, I'm 21, like, I have dozens of years left to do whatever I want, and there's no pressure, but at the same time there is so much pressure. And I do tend to do better under pressure. I hate having the freedom, and especially in this job now, and I can't really complain, it's the best job in the world, don't get me wrong. I have so much more freedom, so it's hard to give myself that self-discipline when I'm already trying to focus on giving myself self-discipline in other areas. Whereas if I had like a boss or a manager to be fucking shouting at me doing something, you know, I tend to just progress in other areas that I have to give myself self-discipline in. I think that's why I done so well when I was working on site and going to the gym and making TikToks at the same time. So not this summer, but the summer prior. I woke up at 4 in the morning, was in work by 5, got home by 6 or 7, and went to the gym for 3 hours. And I still made 5 or 6 TikToks a day, sometimes even 8 a day. And I was doing all that every single day, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out for about 3 months until I started taking off in TikTok, realized I could make it a full-time job. I think once you have that like strict regime and you can put all your effort into one area rather than different various areas, it does tend to make things easier. Saying that, like I said, this job is so easy. I can set my own times. If I want to take a day off, I can. But it does play with you mentally, you know? Enough talking shite. Let's put the weight of a fully grown man on my chest. Not in a weird way. I need some music. I need a few tunes. Maybe not Russian hardstyle, but I'm going to go with a bit of hardstyle today. I really like this song. It's also very loud. I feel like I'm going to burst my eardrums like. You know what? That felt fucking phenomenal. I think I needed just tunes. I needed something to scream in my ear. Once the ear bleeds, the bore feeds. I feel good. I'm going to go straight to 120. I feel confident in it. I just don't know how many reps I'm going to get. I've tried various different reps and I don't really like them. And to be honest, I don't really like these either, but they're the best of a bad bunch. I don't really know what I'm looking for in a rep. I just haven't found a pair that is really that beneficial to me. I've invested in liquid chalk. Put a bit of this jizz on your hand. You give it an old mix in, right? And now you have jizz all over your hands. And there you go, chalk. It's mad stuff. This just basically helps improve your grip. It's really beneficial. I definitely recommend you picking up some. Obviously, you can use, I use my proteins one. I've found no issue with that. It's cleaner than a block because once you start using blocks, like it can get very dirty very quick. Now this bottle actually exploded all over my bag. It looks like I brought the bag onto a building site. It's basically everyone was just covered in like this white powder. It looks like Pablo Escobar's bag there for a while. We're going for All Eyes on You, which is hard style. It's also very loud. Hence why I'm probably shouting at the mic. You know what? It didn't feel great. It didn't feel bad though. Which makes me think 130 might be accessible. I don't know, maybe one rep. I know it is janky as fuck, but I think it's definitely a possibility. Saying that, I need to take a shite. Which isn't obviously the best thing in the fucking world, because if I take too long, my muscles are gonna forget what they're fucking trying to do. And if I don't take long enough, I'll come out with a big streak on this bench. So, look, it'll do me best. I'll try balance it well. Also, I wouldn't have put this chalk on my fucking hands if I had to go wipe my arse in about 20 minutes. God damn it, right, okay. Okay, I'm back. I definitely just feel like fucking wank now. I hate that. I hate when you like reach your top set and you have to go take a shit. I'm gonna do another 120 just to get the body out limber and shit. Actually, no, I'm gonna do 100 to get the body, just get it back into action, and then I'm gonna go 130. I'm gonna go crockless. I mean business, you know. Yeah, okay, right. It's grand. We'll be good. We'll going 130. See if it moves. I really hope they don't catch me dead on camera. That'd be a bit ironic. I'm really hoping I get a good pump. I'd love to get a few physique shots today. I do. Like I said, I'm not really happy with my physique, but at the same time, it's good for mentality, you know, to see what you're looking like. And obviously with a pump, I'm going to look better, which is going to make me feel better. It's mostly just me love handles. Like I do stack fat there, which Like, I know it's genetic, it's just such a pain in the balls, and I literally just, I like eating too much. Like I was saying earlier, like I just don't, at the moment, I just don't have the discipline for it. I have different things on my plate that I'd rather prioritise, and it's very hard to nail nutrition because even as a young lad, like I'd always go back to food as a way out. It's nearly a coping mechanism, you know, from boredom eating to stress eating, it's always something eating, you know what I mean? No matter what the emotion is, I feel like food was always there to comfort me, and like I still kept up that habit, which is a real pain in the butt now. And thankfully, like, look, I don't think I'd be able to put on weight unless I try to, because my lifestyle is healthy enough. It's at the stage now where I'm working out every day. I'm trying to get 20 minutes on the bike, even though sometimes, you know, it does be tricky. I don't like cardio, I don't like running, I don't like how it makes me feel, I don't like doing it, I'm bored out of my brains. It's just food is my main issue. If I didn't care about what I ate, and I just didn't care for flavour or anything, I definitely think I could be Arnold. Maybe not at that level, but I definitely, you know, if I could just eat chicken, rice and broccoli, it'd be all good. But I love food, like I'm a bit of a foodie. And it is really annoying, because I know a lot of lads will come from a place where they were skinny, going to the gym for the first time. And like, growing up, look, I was crippled with body dysmorphia as a young lad. Absolutely destroyed with it. Like, I used to wake up in the morning and I was skinny. I was starving myself, sure. Of course I was going to be skinny. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror, grabbing me love handle and thinking to myself, you know, I'd love to be able to just get the scissors, go chop, and then I'd be happy. You know, and no matter what I do, I'm never able to lose that. I'd have to be diced to the bone, and like I could be, but like I said, if there's other things I'd rather prioritise in life, then that's what I'm going to do. And the gym, people get wrapped up in it, you know, and it does have the ability to do that, because once you see the progression you make in the gym, no matter numerically wise in weights or physically wise, when you see that progression, you're going to get addicted to it, because it's a great feeling. And I know that. It is like an addiction. So people will over-consume their lives with the gym, and it'll cause them to, you know, miss out on events or break up with a relationship. Sometimes in a good sense. I know, like, I've lost a lot of relationships just in terms of friends and stuff, even that, like, you know, I don't want to hang out with someone who's not in a way to push themselves to a better position, and the gym definitely made me realise that. But it also cuts off people who are beneficial to you in an emotional capacity, like, and it's just, you can't let it over-consume you. And at the stage I'm at right now, because I want to focus on other stuff, I can't let the gym, you know, overpower that, and that addiction does be creeping into my head, like, you know, I'm not looking good enough, or I'm not pushing up the weights well enough, and it's really detrimental, like it's real pain in the hole, but look, it has to be done. I think I'm going to put 130 on it, and give it a go. Hope to God I get it, and I'm going to make some tit of myself in front of a couple hundred people to see this, so if even a couple hundred people get this far. I know my videos are long, but look, I think it's kind of more of a podcast rather than a video. You know, you nearly stick it on in the background and listen to it, and then every 20 minutes you see me actually lift a weight, you know. I think, and I like the style, I think it's cool. I definitely know if I was, you know, I wanted to play a COD and listen to something in the background, I could definitely stick this on myself. Because it's kind of like an inside look into me, because I know, especially on TikTok, you get your 15 seconds, even 3 minutes sometimes, but it's all like, you know, Mickey Mouse stuff, really. Like, I have a purpose on what I'm trying to discuss, and the message I'm trying to portray, and what I'm trying to do in those 3 minutes, whereas, like, this is just kind of me, it's nearly therapy, like, I'm nearly having a therapy session to the camera and whoever watches it. It's nice, I like it. And it's nearly like journaling, you know, it's just video journal, and to the public, which is a weird one, but yeah. Okay, let's get fucking hype, baby. What are we listening to? Send For Me by Rihanna. Good old show. Ooh! Ooh! Hey, I'll take it. I'll fucking take it. 130 for one. Or P2. God, that was a struggle rap, but I got it. Clean. Slow as fuck. Turtle baits the fucking hair by every time. Whew. And I wasn't a pussy. I said I'd go for it. I went for it, and I got it. That's all that matters. Real, like, Jesus, oh my God. It's not a pure Anton, I've hit it multiple times before, but it's just that mental block that he's facing. I needed to be able to push it back. I needed to break that boundary. I'd done it. Oh, you just stick the weight on it and do your thing. You know, there's no reason I shouldn't have been able to do it. Sure, your environment has a lot to play in your lifts and stuff, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day as long as you give it your all in it. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But I think to just put the weight on the bar and attempt it is enough to break that block. There's no point going for that again now. 1 rep isn't worth a dog shite to me in terms of hypertrophy. So I'm going to stick it back to 120. Hope to get reps out of that. If I can get 5 and 120 now, I'd be very happy. I think at the moment I'm hitting it for 4, which again, I'm that bit lighter than I was when I was repping it for like 5 or 6. So if I can get 5, I'd be very happy and it'd be a very successful session. And that's only the first lift, you know. It's been a good session so far, even if it all goes to shite. As long as I don't injure myself, I'm happy out. I'm going to put 120 on it now. The Lyra. A bench means a lot to me in terms of, you know, not even muscle growth and stuff. It's an ego thing. Like realistically, I do train for hypertrophy. I train for muscle. But like, you never see someone that can bench 140 that's a tiny little schlick of a man. You know, there's not going to be a bean sprout with 140 kilos on his chest. It's not going to happen. Lifting in general is a mental game. It's not a physical thing, and that's what people don't understand. Everything to do with the gym, even eating and all that, it's all mental. Every single thing. It's not a physical thing. I think if you have a strong bench, or even if you prioritize your deadlifts or squats, whatever the fuck, it doesn't matter. But if you have that one compound movement that you specialize in, that other people compare against, everyone always asks, oh, you go to the gym, what's your bench? You know, everyone always asks, no matter what, every Tom, Dick and Harry who has no clue about the bench. The only person who won't ask you that is someone who actually goes to the gym, because they know that most fuckers can't bench jack shite. And that's all right, because it's a hard movement. So I think by you having that one area that, like with a compound movement that people compare against, obviously it goes back to comparison to Steve Joy, but it is a thing, like, and you're going to have to take that mental stigma and be able to put it into it. No one gives a fuck what you bicep curl. No one gives a shite what you fucking lat pull down, like. No one cares, you know. So by having that, it is an ego. And I think ego is great for your mental health. Obviously the gym has a lot of ego in it. Like me staring at myself in the mirror for 2 hours taking photos. If that's not an ego, I don't know what is, you know. But it's just, that's the way the gym culture is. And it is all ego at the end of the day. So I especially think by having a compound movement like the bench, gives me that drive to my ego to push myself to excel in other areas of the gym. Don't know if that makes sense. It's a lot. I waffle a lot. Like, it's a lot. Like, I think it's educational, like, but it's a lot of rambling, you know. I hope you can understand what I mean. It's very hard when you have a lot to say to actually say it. If we could all put things into words, I'd be a fucking poet. One of the first songs in my playlist, Prima Donna Girl, Mr. Oi, bootleg. I feel as stiff as the backside of a hurdle, but I'm not going to let it affect me. Okay, we'll get the third. We'll go for 4. You know what? I feel like I could have got a 5th, but I also don't have a spot there. And my back's a bit dodgy from squats yesterday, and I don't think it's worth me getting the injury. I could push myself to absolute failure and get the last rep, but if I don't go for the last rep, it gives me more, it allows me to give more power to my next exercises. And it is only the first exercise, so there's no point going to failure on your first exercise. You know, you think your body has a Duracell battery. If you're using most of your energy, which is what you want to do, on your first lift of the day, which is your compound, you're going to be hitting most muscles, so you take up that much, right? If you do 5 reps when your max on this is 7, you're only going to take up that, which gives you plenty of room at the end of the battery to be able to do your other exercises. Whereas if you go and do your 7 reps on this, which is your max, you cannot do any more, you're completely dead. Your battery starts to get a lot fucking smaller, and you're only left with a little smidging of space to go into your accessory work. And at that stage, your accessory is work jack shite. Say if you're doing bicep curls at the end, you might be able to do 20 kilos. Whereas if you push yourself like a motherfucker on this, good luck picking up them 20s by. You're either going to lose reps by 4 or 5, or you're going to have to regress the weight down to 17.5 kilos. At the end of the day, your body wants as much weight as possible being put onto it, and as much, your muscles are looking to get broken up as much as possible, so by putting a heavier weight. If you've no battery left, but you can still get a few more out, so you may as well fucking overload the shite out of your battery, you know what I mean? But it's grand to be able to do that at the end of a workout because you've nothing else to go into. Whereas if you do it at the start, you're tiring yourself out for the rest of it. So that's why I will cut myself short. Now that was me pushing to the limit, like I wouldn't have got that last rep, but if I went for that last rep, it would have been fatiguing me to the point where it would affect the ability to recover on me upcoming exercises. Go to failure if you want, for all I give a shave, works for you, but I feel like it would make more sense just to cut yourself that short. At the same point, you don't want to have a mental fatigue, because a lot of people trick themselves into thinking that's their last rep, because they'll do the lift, like, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm tired. And then they'll do another one. They'll like, just think about it for a second, they'll be like, am I actually tired? And you realise you're not fucking tired at all, you're just being an old pussy, you know? And you can do a rack more. You want to make sure you're actually hitting near failure and not just the mental block. A cable fly, say for example. If you're out like this, you know, you kind of just get bored because you're there flapping away like a fucking fairy. And then, like, I must be coming near the end of my set. But you're not really, but you trick your mind into thinking, oh, I'm tired now, I must stop. Whereas if you just stop for a second, think to yourself, am I actually tired? And you realise, I'm just being a gobshite. I can do an extra 5, you know? Now, look, you should have enough weight on it that you can only get like 5 to 6 reps anyway, but you get me gist. It even happens to myself when I'm well aware of what's happening. I still think to myself, oh, I'm tired. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Now, in the same vein, like, I would not call that set a back down, even though I did digress the weight. That was not a back down set for me, because if I was calling that a back down set, I would have done 2 reps on it or something. I still pushed myself to the point where I was still at the same like stress scale, so like RPE, as the set prior, so I wouldn't call it a back down. And the reason why I won't do a back down set now on squats, whereas like on bench, whereas like on squats yesterday I did do back downs, is because I was trying to prioritize growth in squats. Whereas on my chest days, I'm trying to promote growth on chest. So hypertrophy growth rather than just numbers on bench. I won't do a back down now. Instead, I'll use that energy I would have used on a back down, which, yeah, it would have benefited me bench and I would have got back to the 140 quicker, which is one of my goals, but it's not a long term, it's not like a goal I really want to get to. Whereas if I was going for the 140, I'd be doing back down sets now. I do 120, I do another 120, I do 100, I do an 80, you know what I mean, just for 5 reps. Piss it out to, you know, it would progress it. Let me think, what do I want to do now? It is late, I have to remember the time. It's 10:30 at night, like. So I'd want to nearly get my arse in gear a bit. My plan isn't really like, it's not a plan at the moment. I'm in between gyms, so I can't make sure, like, ideally now I'd be going on to a plate press, you know, a seated plate press, but that's not in this gym, so I have to do something else. So I don't follow a plan at the moment. Once you have the knowledge, you can be like, okay, I see that skiing machine, I can turn that into a chest exercise. So like that's what I'm trying to do here now. So it's a single cable, which means I can't do flies or dual flies. I have to do a variation of a unilateral exercise. So my plan is to lie down on the bench and push upwards from a low angle, which should hit that upper chest. We also don't have grips. The only grips we have is this bar here. I hope you can see that. You know, a short bar and then a long lat pull down bar. And neither of them are at all useful for this exercise. So this is a figure 8 strap. My protein, again, I must link them in the bio because you can use code protein bar and use my link, and you know I get the money and stuff, which is great. Money is good crack. I do love an old bit of dosh. So I'm gonna get my strap, loop it into this, and then that gives me basically a D handle. It's not obviously the best D handle in the world, but it's better than nothing. You just have to kind of play around with it then until you can figure out a way that works. Now that's too much weight. I need to take that weight off. If you're thinking of exercises to do Don't do this one. It's the most MacGyver shit possible. But saying that, it's the best I can do with the equipment that I'm given. So now, my goal here is to get the pull on the chest, go down as far as possible, and then bring it up. As if it's a fly. I'm trying to bring it at a 45-degree angle across my body. Because the chest favors that angle. That's why your incline bench press and dumbbells is at a 45-degree angle. Not only for the safety of your rotator cuff. Give me a second. And one more. Fuck me, Jesus Christ. It's not only for the safety of your rotator cuff, but it's also because the muscles in your chest run at a 45-degree angle this way. So by you going in the opposite way, directly contracts them, and it gives you a better squeeze. Whew, fuck me. Now the main issue with these MacGyver setups, obviously it's a pain in the ass, but the main issue is that each side and each set you do is not going to be the exact same. Because I'm in a different position here now, I'm not going to have it at the exact same angle. I'm going to do my best to try and have it at the same angle, but it's just not going to be possible. Okay. My main importance is getting that squeeze at the top, bringing it across the chest. Because it's unilateral, I have more space, whereas if you're stuck doing both arms at the same time, a bilateral, isn't it? You don't have the ability to overshoot the mark. But you have to be aware that when you're doing that, you don't want to stop for too long. Because once you stop, you actually take the stress off the muscle because you're giving it a rest. And it's contracted, but it's just kind of sitting there training endurance, which is not the goal of hypertrophy. Oh, one more. Oh, fuck. So it allows you to give that extra bit of, oomph to go either side. Get that extra squeeze. You just don't want to go too far. Also, when you're going down here, you want to make sure you're getting that stretch, because the squeeze is important, but the stretch is what breaks the muscle. If you think about your muscle as hot metal hitting cold water, you'll give it that shock of the cold water and it's going to shrink, You do that over time, you heat it up, you freeze it down, you heat it up, you freeze it down. You're eventually basically just tearing the shell of it. It's contracting, getting bigger and smaller, bigger and smaller, bigger and smaller, till all of a sudden it starts to crack. Starts to crack down. That's what you're trying to do with your muscle. And then your proteins is what comes, your little protein men, and start doing repair on your muscle. You're looking to get it as hot as possible. So you're getting the full-on squeeze at the top. This is you're getting your pan hot. And then you're getting your pan cold. You're looking to get it as cold as possible. That's what you're going for. You're looking to get that full stretch, and then bang, a quick old hit, back to hot. Get Fix It Felix in there with a hammer and an amino acid, and he fixes it all for you. I think I have a pump. I think I have enough of a pump to take the tatas out. Right, let's hope I look good. No, not too happy. Not very impressed. Like, there's absolutely zero abdominal muscle there on show. It's just not really what you want. I feel like my core is strong, don't get me wrong. Like there is, like especially when I turn to the side and stuff, you can see them. It's just that fat. There's a lot there. Like there's a lot of excess body fat, especially when I turn to the back. You can really see it because my back shot looks insane, but then you get down here and you're like, geez, he's one fat fucker, like, My chest isn't as pumped as I thought it'd be. Usually now at this stage there'll be a bit more voluptuousness to it. Bit of a side chest there for you. And I need to get leaner, but it's just so much on my plate. And most important, I think I need a haircut. I think that should be the appetizer. I'm getting there with the physique. I'm not gonna let it bum me out, you know. Just gonna keep tipping away and doing my best day by day. A good squeeze at the top, the full contraction at the bottom. Don't let that elbow bend, and then we'll bring it straight up. Then we're straight up. And a good squeeze. The thing, obviously, unilateral movements are beneficial for that mind-muscle connection, which a lot of people underestimate the efficiency of. I feel like I know I'm doing an exercise better, obviously, when I can feel the muscle working, and when you have your hand on your tit, oh fuck me. Okay. When you have your hand on your tit, you can obviously feel those fibers running and pushing, which makes you like nearly push them harder in a sense. I used to be very good at drawing. I pick up things very easily, like I used to video edit, make out montages, a bit of CSGO, a bit of Crunker, for anyone watching any of the OGs. If you got this far in the video, actually leave a comment, just say something like, just comment Crunker. I used to draw when I was a young fella. I really loved it as well, and I do miss it. It's so hard when like my creative output just changes, you know. And at the moment, it's obviously doing TikToks. I'm really on the push for the million. I'm at like 930k. I'm trying to get like 4 or 5 videos out a day just to give that push. It's going grand. Like I'm getting 3,000 followers a day, roughly, which is crazy numbers. But I'm just trying to speed that up. And the more I post, the more of a chance of that to happen. You see, I like TikToks as an output because you just basically take content that's already there and you transform it into something else. And that's what you do with sounds and stuff. And even with like haul videos, you know, I would have never thought of doing a haul video unless I seen someone else do a haul video. Or I would have never used, say, for example, Panda Buy unless I seen someone else doing it, and that's why I picked it up. Drawing and stuff is completely unique, and when you're video editing, it's completely unique, and I do miss that, like that spark. But I think once I get the 1 million followers, I'm going to take a bit, not a rest from TikTok. I'm still probably going to upload every day, but I'd like to transform some of that creativity into other things, like drawing, and I would like to get merch out. Because I have designs, like I made designs 5-6 years ago that I had just never done anything like, because I never had a platform to sell them on. Whereas now, obviously 1 million people is a lot. There's only fucking 40,000 in Leitrim. So there's a fair so I would like to get that going, and you know, but I'd like to make it myself. I know I have the ability to do it, so I don't see any reason for me not to, other than fucking laziness. And laziness is a shocking thing, lads. Be another one. God. When I talked about the mental fatigue, those last 2 reps, I would not have got if I didn't think to myself, am I actually tired? If I don't have a pump now after that, I don't know what's going on. No, I can see even in the camera, like there's a lot more tittage going on. Like this might get taken down for nudity. You know, that's how much titty just going on. I feel good here now, right? Like, look, that's spread, that's looking alright, but boobs like looking majestic enough. Arms looking alright. With a vacuum I'm looking big, but then I stand back a bit, and I know I'm probably the only person in the world that notices it, and that's the thing about flaws and stuff, like, only because you know you have it is what you focus on. Most people are only going to see this part of me and they're going to be like, yeah, he's wham. Whereas when I look at myself, all I can see is two big fucking lumps of fat here, you know, and that's all that makes me self-conscious. It doesn't matter how jacked I am here and fucking veins popping, you know, I'm a nurse's wet dream. But then as soon as I look down here, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not happy with it. And I know, I'm at the stage now where I know that it's only me that notices that. No one actually gives a shite, like, you know, but that's how the mind plays tricks on you, and you have to be able to get over that. Like, look, obviously if I had an issue with it, and like really deep-rooted issue, there wouldn't be a chance of me standing in front of the camera with me love handles out, you know. I'd be too nervous, and some days I am. Some days in particular I'll just be like, nah, I'm not taking off the t-shirt. And you just have to kind of cop onto yourself and realise, you know, you're not the only person that goes through this type of shit. Enough of the soppy shite. This time we're working our way down. Same thing again. Now, because we're standing, it's not really possible to do a fly. I mean, it is like, but it's just, I don't know. I actually prefer a pressing movement. I like to get 2 pressing movements in and a fly, whereas most people get like 1 pressing movement, their bench, and then 2 flies. Because I like to limit my tricep work. It means if I do more pressing movements, I'm obviously doing more tricep. It means I can overload more weight, so there's more weight going into my chest, and I would be a man to prioritise weight over anything else. I definitely think the higher weight you put on someone, even if it's ego lifting, is way more important than reps. I think 5 reps on something with 5 kilos higher is way more important than 8 reps and 5 kilos lighter. You have to still be getting at least half days in form though, don't get me wrong. So the goal here is to press, not a fly. So we're taking our weight and we're pushing it down to roughly here. That's where we're trying to get across the chest. Again, we're hitting the chest, we're not trying to concave in, but because we're going low, we don't need like a wide back. Fuck. Oh, my boobie. Your focus is really just getting down, you know. You just need to you're just pushing the weight, like, at the end of the day, you're just kind of getting it. Whereas in a cable fly, you have to be more precise. You know, you have lower weight, so you have to make sure every rep is good, and you have to lower weight because it's physically impossible to do heavy weight on a cable fly. You're not going to be able to get past this stage, you know. Whereas on a press, if you just fucking plow into it, you might get the same range of motion or level of contraction. You get the same range of motion, but you might get the same level of contraction because you're using like more momentum. It's an outside force kind of pushing. There you go. Tetris hardstyle remix. so mad taking off your earphones to hear absolute dead silence. It went from do 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 do, just pure fucking ear bleed shit, to dead silence. Yeah, just looking at me boobs. You know, boobs are great, like, they're a great invention. Whoever came up with them now deserves a raise. We're listening to Flo Rida Whistle. I remember listening to this song when I was like 14 and thought he was just very passionate about blowing a whistle. I found out a few years later that man was on about blowing something else. There we go. God damn it. Oh, my boob. Oh, you know what? Usually in press movements now, it'll be me tricep that goes before me tit. But fuck, this in particular, my boob is getting every last ounce. And I'm betting you like girls to give love to girls to stroke a little heat low. I don't know how I thought this was about whistles. It's just, it's so obviously not about whistles. Fall for that last one. Time for some triceps now to finish off. I actually bring my own tricep rope because we don't have one here. I bought one on Amazon. Like obviously this is a club gym, so they don't have the greatest set of equipment, so they don't have one of these. But even like in a public gym, these are a lifesaver. 6 p.m, you know yourself, you better get a cable machine, never mind the right attachment for it. It means you can always hit your triceps without having to worry. I'd recommend picking up a D handle as well. I just don't have one because I use me figure eights instead. The aim is to keep shoulders roll back, you know, nearly dig them into your chest. Keep that elbow straight. You don't really need to be going by this much because once you start going up here, the elbow starts to cave and you're actually taking stress off the tricep when you start going up like this. So you just want to keep it at this level. You don't need to go by here. If you're going by here, it's just a waste of time. So you're going up to here, you're trying to get down as far as possible. A lot of people feel like you need to bring it back. If you bring it down, that is the same as that. There is zero difference there in what you're getting. The only difference might perhaps be, obviously, it's hard if when you pull it out here, the area where it swings gets harder either at the top or the bottom, depending on how close, far away you are from it. But you just want to be able to get it down, so you don't need to bring it back because you're not actually gaining anything from going down there. That's the same. You know, if I go out there, that's the exact same as that. Once you're at the bottom of the apex, which is like where gravity is hitting the lowest point, so there, that's the exact same as that. Like, you're not making a fuck all difference. Like, it's not worth it. When I was going, I tried to keep them apart. You know, I tried to keep them like that. On the last rep, I had to push them in together because if you're pushing together, it allows you to be more stable and you're able to get that last rep out. I'm all out of water. I need to get more water. I'll be back. A lot of people underestimate the importance of hydration in the gym. This is 2 litres, obviously it's an old milk jug. I did used to have the bottles, but they kept breaking on me, so every time we're running out of milk, I'll just drink the rest of it and fill this up with water. I always make a priority. I'll drink like maybe 3, sometimes 4 litres in the gym, depending, especially when I'm like back on creatine. Water allows you to supply ATP to your cells, like. It's that, you know, your blood transports it and your blood is like, what, 80% water or something. So you need that water to be able to push everything through your body. Even like in terms of just a pump, you know, you need to be able to push the nutrients and the blood to the muscles so that they get all fed and juicy, you know, and plump. So I think people like underestimate water drinkage, and like especially when you're in the gym, it's the easiest time to get it in, because I know even myself, like I'd be sitting out down all day or whatever watching telly, like, or on the computer and that type of shit, and or even if you're out and about, you know, it's hard to get water into you. Whereas when you're in the gym, you're thirsty because you're working out. You should be like a suck calf, so make sure to just drink every time you get in between every set, or have an old suck but have no dash, you know. So that's just what you want to do. Last few reps. We're not doing any more tricep work today. To failure. Let's go for it. Now, I would like to get a few push-ups in, but lads, it's 11:30. I need to go to bed. Look at that vein coming out. It's so cool. It's like the River Nile on my chest. Oh, it's actually nuts. I don't know why I'm so vascularly blessed and everywhere else. It's just like my body fat percentage up here is like minimal, and soon you come here. Says, I know I'm only complaining now at this stage. You don't want to hear it. Just to be able to say, like, I remember when I got my first vein on my forearm. I actually took a picture of it, and it's so funny because it's just like a picture like this, like it's like first vein, and like you can't see shit. I think it's just like a weird fucking shadow. I took a picture of it, first vein, and I seen it there for the first time. It must have been like 5 years ago. Seen it, and it's like that, like that's just not a vein. So I tell you, 15-year-old me or whatever will be fucking delighted seeing this. Which is really what it's all about, you know. I'm gonna hit abs. I'm going to bed, let's fuck this, I hit abs tomorrow. Look, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. I think the whole YouTube crack is enjoyable. I do like it. I do like just having a chat. I know I was talking to a camera, but even seeing your comments and stuff, I only posted for the first time there yesterday. And it's cool. It's nice to be able to just talk about random shit. It's like basically my own little podcast, you know, and it is nice just to be able to kind of air out some things that I want to talk about. So thank you very much if you got this far. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for hearing me talk shite for probably about 40 minutes. I really do enjoy it. Thank you, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart. Like, I know, look, it's mad because I do nearly have like 1 million on YouTube or on TikTok, and I get like 1 million views a video. Like, it's fucking not bragging here, it's the truth. YouTube or TikTok is an easy enough platform to go viral on. So it's not like, sometimes it's rewarding when I put a lot of effort into it. Anyway, the point is, you know, getting the couple hundred views and people like commenting and stuff on YouTube when it's like just literally just me, it's bare bones as fuck, is really cool. And look, I like 250 subscribers now at this stage is mad. Like in a day, that's crazy. So thank you very much, I genuinely appreciate it. And if you got this far, yeah, please do drop a note, subscribe, and a comment and a like. Let me know what you think, and let me know if there's anything you want me to do or try out and that should be jazz, because I am new to it. So thank you very much. Good luck.